10 seconds. Well, you're on now. Okay, perfect. On now. It is June 3rd, noon. Call this meeting to order. Commissioner Holbrook, please open us with prayer.
Yes, sir. Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, God, we gather today with gratitude for the many blessings you provided our county and our communities. And with this conclusion of the academic year, God, we ask that you provide protection for our students and children throughout the next few months. And we give you thanks for the educators and administration who invested their influence into their lives. And we ask that you give them rest and encouragement over this summer break. We ask that you watch over our first responders and the employees from each department as they continually serve our county. And we thank you for them. We ask you to bless them, their lives, and their families as well. Be with us today, Lord. We ask for wisdom and discernment that only you can provide. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Stand and salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mike. Clerk, will you please call roll?
Judge Cheney.
Here.
Commissioner Salisbury.
Here.
Commissioner Holbrook.
Here.
Commissioner Stapleton.
Here.
All right, approval of minutes for May 13th meeting. Motion and a second.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton.
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook.
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury.
Yes.
Judge Cheney.
Yes. I'm going to amend the agenda from a general section, the seducement bond resolution and MOA. I'm going to move that below the approval of submitted bills and transfers. Can I get a motion in a second to amend?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton.
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook.
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury.
Yes.
Judge Cheney.
Yes. All right, next we'll move to the finance section, approval of submitted bills and transfers. Get a motion in a second.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton.
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook.
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury.
Yes.
Judge Cheney.
Yes. Next, we'll move to the inducement bond resolution and MOA. Mr. Parsons, would you care to come up?
You said Commissioner Parsons.
Did I say, what did I say? I said Mr. Parsons.
I thought you said Commissioner Parsons.
Well, he can be commissioner. Commissioner
Yeah,
Parsons.
no problem.
How you doing?
I was never a commissioner. I was a deputy judge before. And
There you go.
There you go. Absolutely.
Members of the court, I'm Jim Parsons with Keating Muthy and Clecamp. I'm your special counsel for economic development matters and things. Before you today is a bond inducement resolution where the county is agreeing to issue industrial revenue bonds for a project being undertaken by Carbon Corps Incorporated. They plan to develop a sustainable aviation fuel production facility in Boyd County relative to that, and they're asking the county to provide an incentive for them for the using industrial revenue bonds. This is going to be a substantial project. I don't want to give out numbers exactly today, but just be aware of the fact, and I've gone over this with you before, industrial revenue bonds are conduit bonds that are issued by the county or a city or industrial authority or whatever, but they're for economic development projects. No part of the bonds are the debt of the county at all, so you could issue significant amounts of bonds and it doesn't affect your credit rating. You're not responsible for the bonds. The purpose of these bonds, quite frankly, are to provide a real and tangible tax break for a portion of the project relative to that, so this is an initial step. This is simply the county's intent to issue the bonds when the company is ready to move forward. The company, after this goes into effect, then the company knows that if they move forward on this particular project in Boyd County, then when they're ready to close on the bonds, they will come back. The county will adopt the bond resolution officially issuing the bonds. This actually ties in directly for a fairly significant tax break, not from local tax, although there will be some local tax exemptions. It really ties into a lot of these industrial projects have a significant amount of manufacturing tangible equipment that's subject to the state rate only, not subject to your rates at all. But by issuing bonds for a project like this, it allows that value, that tangible equipment, to be taxed at a lower state rate, and it's a significant incentive. They actually have been talking already separately to the Kentucky Economic Development Cabinet about, I don't want to go into details of that, but any incentives that the state would have would be in addition to anything the county would be willing to do on this particular situation. There are representatives of the company here, if you want to have a little bit of information about the project, and answer any questions. But again, this is the beginning step of actually a major project that could be coming into Boyd County.
Thank you.
Michael, would you like to say a few words?
You defer?
Say something, right?
Well, thank you for your support of this project. We hope that it's going to be a good thing for the county. We hope that we'll be able to bring in some private investment and some federal investment as well. So we're at the very beginning, and don't want to overpromise, but whatever we do is going to bring attention to the county. So I think however the project pans out, the county's going to be the winner.
Well, we appreciate you all. This has been it's been a pleasure working with you all thus far, and we really look forward to see this project grow and prosper in Boyd County, and it will be a great thing. It will be a great thing. Thank you again for that.
One thing too, Judge, I saw you have the agreement in lieu of taxes on separately. The bond inducement resolution already authorizes that, so you don't have to take separate action on that unless you
Okay.
So just be aware of the fact the inducement resolution, there's provisions in there automatically approving the pilot agreements.
We'll remove that. So what we need to vote on is the resolution.
That's right.
Correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So this is a resolution of the Fiscal Court of the County of Boyd, Kentucky, authorizing the execution of a memorandum of agreement between the county and Carbon Corps, Inc., relating to the acquisition, construction, equipping, and installation of an industrial project, agreeing to undertake the issuance of industrial building revenue bonds at the appropriate time to pay the cost of acquiring, constructing, equipping, and installing said project and facilities, and taking other preliminary action. Get a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
One thing I will point out, Judge, and he should have said this before, the pilot agreement specifically provides that the school district will be paid at 100%
Correct.
rate, as well as the fire district that's applicable to the site. So
Correct.
those two taxing districts will receive 100% pilot payment.
Any further discussion?
Thank you.
Yeah, very much. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you looking at Boyd County, Kentucky to locate your business. And hopefully we can get this thing closed.
Yep.
Sir.
Thank you, guys.
Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton?
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook?
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury?
Yes.
Judge Cheney?
Yes. All right. Next on the agenda is the first reading of budget amendment.
And the first one is
Second reading of,
second reading.
Oh, I skipped that one.
Yeah.
Second reading of budget amendment.
That was just last month's budget amendment that we presented.
Okay.
It was $2,890,175.
Okay.
So we're just asking for the second reading on that one.
I can get a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton?
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook?
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury?
Yes.
Judge Cheney?
Yes. Next on the agenda is the first reading of a separate budget amendment. Missy, would you like to talk about this one, please?
We are at the time of the year where we're doing housekeeping. So we had some FEMA funds come in that we needed to amend to the budget, making this budget amendment $1,262,764. So we're just asking for the approval of that so we can expend those funds.
Get a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton?
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook?
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury?
Yes.
Judge Cheney?
Yes. Next on the agenda is the first reading of fiscal year 2026 budget. We're definitely, this is it's a big step for us. You know, a few years back, we purchased Tyler Technologies, and I feel like this budget is an actual. We were never able in the past to really track where we were. The software that we had, I think it cost $1,500 a year, and you couldn't keep track of hardly nothing. There was only 2 users allowed on the account, and everybody else had like a dummy budget that they could just visually look at but couldn't make changes on. So Tyler Technologies really changed the way we do things. We've really been able to dive in deep and see exactly where our numbers are going, where our money's going. So we have actuals. We're pretty proud of this budget. And I want to thank all the elected officials. I know we had a big meeting up here really looking to tighten down, you know, all the way across the board to get to where we need to be. And I appreciate all of you very much for sitting down with us, having a conversation, willing to go back and forth and negotiate on some different aspects. So I know I appreciate that. I know the fiscal court does as well. This budget it's a big one. And Missy, I don't actually see the total on here.
I don't think it prints on that,
It's right at 43, ain't it?
43 million.
Total
I think.
budget this year for 2026 is right at $43 million. I'll get an exact number, but it's right at that. This budget report doesn't reflect that or doesn't calculate that end number for some reason. But there's a lot in here. We've really tightened down in some areas. Now you'll notice that number has increased. And the reason that number is up is a couple reasons. One, FEMA reimbursement for past projects. You'll see in the budget that's right around $2.4 million in revenue. These are reimbursement for in-kind expenses that we've had, like during an ice storm. FEMA is, just like most government agencies, very slow on doing some things. So we're still looking back to get reimbursed for projects that we expended out in 2018, 2019. So that money's usually 5 or 6 years behind. So that's why we had the line of credit set up so we could get all this stuff done and reimbursed later. So you'll see that on here is a $2.4 million intake of revenue for reimbursement for those expenses. And then, let's see, there was another big one. Oh, the bond issuance. That's what it was. So of the bond that we just took for the sports complex, not all of that bond has to go through the budget. A lot of that bond will be direct transactions made from the bond agency to, you know, the end game, wherever it's at. It's a good song, by the way. But in there, we have $7 million, right? We budgeted $7 million for us to expend, and that will be for renovations and expenses that the fiscal court will actually have for this sports complex project. So that's why the budget has elevated. The good news is the total bond capacity, or the total bond debt for us yearly has increased kind of minimal at about a $75,000 increase, which we had revenue and other line items to cover that for. So I feel really good about this, and I'm excited to get it passed. I know, Missy, you have worked your tail off. Everybody, I appreciate you very much for that. And we've had some long nights going over this, getting it dialed in. But anything you all want to talk about on this prior to voting?
It's progress.
Yeah.
Clerk, will you please call roll?
I think we had a motion.
Oh, can we get a motion and a second to approve the budget?
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton?
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook?
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury?
Yes.
Judge Cheney?
Yes. All right. Next on the agenda is the amendment to the Camp Landing PSA. Jim, is there anything you want to discuss on this?
No, this is just a simple extension of the PSA to change the due diligence dates. Quite frankly, by the time we finally got the PSA executed, we were almost out of due diligence time. So fortunately, Jason Camp was willing to give us some additional time so we could because we still need to get the Alta survey done so we can look at title objections, things like that, and we were just not able to meet the requirements there. So I don't think there's going to be any issues, but I don't want to not miss some due diligence deadlines when we're over the ball and stuff like that. So that's all we're doing, is simply extending the initial due diligence period to June 19th.
Okay, get a motion in a second.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Sorry.
Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton?
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook?
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury?
Yes.
Judge Cheney?
Yes. See, Jim, thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
He's a good guy.
Very good guy.
Drives from Cincinnati,
smart
come
guy.
down here. He's
Works
good.
hard.
He's a good man.
He
He's a
works
good
hard.
man. Extremely intelligent.
Yeah, he's worth every dime.
Next, we'll move on to the general section. Reappoint Charles Means to Westwood Fire Department Board. Can get a motion in a second.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton?
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook?
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury?
Yes.
Judge Cheney?
Yes. Next on the agenda is reappoint Ben Collier, Jim Smith, and Griffin Mason to the Northeast Kentucky EDA. Can I get a motion in a second?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton?
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook?
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury?
Yes.
Judge Cheney?
Yes. Next on the agenda, we've removed the agreement in lieu of taxes that was covered in the Carbon Corps bond resolution MOA. So next is special purpose vehicles ordinance. I figure we'll have a long discussion on this one. This is an ordinance authorizing street legal special purpose vehicles to operate on public roads in the unincorporated areas of Boyd County. So this would be for strictly outside the city limits of Catlettsburg and Ashland. And I believe it's for 35 mile per hour and less. Is that what? 35 mile per hour or less roads. And there's certain aspects that make these street legal. I'll go through them. It's one or more headlamps, one or more tail lamps, one or more brake lamps, a trail lamp or other constructed in place to illuminate the registration plate with a white light, one or more red reflectors on the rear of the vehicle, an amber electric turn system, one on each side of the front of the vehicle, and an amber or red electric turn signal on the rear of the vehicle. And I believe there's more on page 2. We got page 2? I need page 2, please. Let's see. So, braking system other than a parking brake, a horn or other warning device, a working muffler, rear view mirror on the right and left side of the driver, a windshield, a speedometer, illuminated for nighttime operation, a roll bar, roll cage. For multi-passenger vehicles, a seatbelt assembly that conforms to the federal motor vehicle safety standard for each seating position, and tires that'd have been funny if I'd have stopped right there, wouldn't it? Tires that have at least 2 seconds of tread or greater. So, I don't know. This to me is this is going on all the time anyway, especially in southern Boyd County, right? Where I live, everybody's out on a golf cart all the time. Now, a golf cart probably wouldn't qualify because it can't reach the speeds it's designated unless it's a low-speed vehicle style golf cart that can reach that with the seat belts and turn signals and all that. But I feel like this happens all the time anyway. And, I mean, to me, I do see issues and concerns with people riding, side by sides at 2 o'clock in the morning, ripping down through there. But I also understand that that's where we have the noise ordinance that would also qualify for that too. So I think that we could have that covered. I think the enforcement side of it, from Jamie's perspective, I think it does create some areas that will be harder to patrol and monitor. But at the same time, I do feel that those things we can handle those items as they come up. So would like to I'd like to be open to discussion on this first to kind of talk about the pros and the cons and where you all feel that you're at on it.
Well, I understand.
20 miles. And can they be on state roads? So this is county roads only, 35 mile per hour less, no state, no federal highways, nothing like that. Had a guy who was real excited about it because he was going to drive it to the plant, and I was like, probably not. Yeah. So, Yeah, this does limit it to county roads. And really, this is going to be in certain areas of the county. I mean, you've got, I feel like, Randy, like where you live, I feel like you got there, but mostly you're surrounded by state roads, mostly southern Boyd County, Durbin area, Bernal, all those areas, where you got a lot of farms especially. So anyway, open to discussion on this, and I figure we'll have a pretty good one. Eddie, Brad.
Does anybody have any questions out there?
Well, do you all have anything?
Kevin's got it.
Go ahead, hit it, Kevin. No golf carts. No golf carts.
I definitely think there's some discussion about the fee that needs to be charged by the sheriff's department, because I don't know how that they're going to put a four-wheeler or whatever on a trailer to bring it down here to be inspected, and I don't know how realistic that is, because it's going to, it's going to require our department to go someplace to probably do the inspection.
There's a $25 fee, correct me if I'm wrong, Kevin, for the inspections of the side-by-side ATVs.
It's at 35 plus the state has a place for the sheriff's department for transportation costs for them to go through. It's already KRS.
Absolutely.
Already in there?
Is that microphone not on?
Hello?
Oh,
Yeah,
I
there
turned
it
it
is.
off.
So
Hi, Kevin.
it's a 30, hello. It is a $35 inspection fee. But there is KRS for the sheriff's department on inspections that they can charge a fee to go to your site. So that's already in place. This is just above and beyond, normal inspection. So yeah, we will have an issue with people coming here, trailering here, more limited parking. So you will have to rely someone on the sheriff's department and his capabilities come to you and take a look at them.
Which we've talked about expanding that anyway, because even for motor vehicle inspections, you know, we've had that conversation just because it's so congested up here in Catlettsburg, it's hard to do them. So we've talked about expanding that certain aspect anyway.
Or we could handle it out of the satellite office on 60, honestly. It's got kind of, because you got a party in and a way out, you know.
Yeah, we'll find a means to accommodate, as Sheriff Reese and I will. We'll work together on this to make sure it happens. Means for the community, so. But I just want everybody clear, no golf carts. It is county roads. It's not state. You're not gonna run to Walmart. You're not gonna run over to Sandy's. It's just, strictly county roads. And City of Ashland has to pass an ordinance in the City of Catlettsburg if they wanna allow them.
Yeah, it's just
What about
unincorporated.
four-wheelers? Will four-wheelers fall into this? No four-wheelers, right?
I thought
got a
it
roll
said-
cage.
Has to have a roll cage.
Has to have a windshield, and if it's not a windshield, they have to have eye
Has to
protection.
wear eye protection if no windshield. Has to have the seat belt. Has to have the inspection form for Sheriff Reese plainly states roll cage. If it doesn't have a roll cage, it's not gonna. Now, on the upside of that is mini trucks. They have an enclosed cab. So your mini trucks will, special military use vehicles, things of that nature, they will have to have.
As long as we stick to the KRS, I think that's.
So if you
that's
have
what we need to do.
a John Deere side-by-side with a cab over it, it doesn't require
Because it has a seatbelt in it. Most of all those cab overs have
Yeah.
seatbelts.
Where those might get you though would be turn signals. You know what I mean?
Right, you'll have to put turn signals on there. You have to make them street
Brake
legal.
lights.
Yeah, I mean, they gotta be street legal.
And you have to remember, there is a tax. It's just like doing a vehicle. You're gonna pay an ad val tax. You're gonna
That's
pay your
right.
6% tax. This is not just walk in and, give me a tag. So it's just like having another vehicle.
So,
you-
but
you
it's
will
not-
have to have insurance.
Now, but something to be clear on, it's not mandatory, like in a sense, if you don't plan on traversing these on the road at all, it's not, if you're just having it on the farm, it's not mandatory, correct? So it's not something that we're not out, I just want to make sure that everybody's aware that we're not out looking for your side-by-side sitting on your property. It's not our business. We don't care. If we pass this, if this passes and you want that to be roadworthy, road-ready, this is the process that you'll have to do to get there. But, if you're sitting out on a farm, out on Route 3, you're fine. Just keep it off the road, which is state road anyway.
You still have farm use.
And you still have the farm use, so you'll still be able to traverse, so it doesn't really intermingle with that.
And they'll be tagged, registered like a motorcycle each year, $10 registration fee, same as motorcycles. They have their own specialty plate that goes on there. They're a green plate with black lettering, so they'll be identifiable above our normal plates.
Curtis, Jamie, do you all have anything on this you want to touch on?
I don't have anything. I think Kevin, discussed the the registration in detail. But no, it is not mandatory. Again, I think I saw that on Facebook. We're just looking to go after people. That
No,
is,
absolutely not.
nothing to do with that whatsoever.
And this is across the state, 120 counties. It
Right.
doesn't matter if we pass this ordinance or not. If somebody from Carter County comes here, Greenup, wherever, I have to tag their vehicle.
Absolutely.
Have to tag it.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like the state covered their bases on all the details of this. So it's not that we are adding to or subtracting from any of the KRS. I think where this hits us locally is the enforcement.
correct.
Yes.
And that's the one thing the
correct.
state's not providing.
That's correct.
And so that's where it really hits on how we handle it.
That's exactly right. 'Cause if we, even if we
unfunded
didn't do
mandate.
this, they can go to Carter County or Greenup
Sure.
and do it.
Okay.
Just enforcement part of it really is what I was concerned about, because we will see an uptick in enforcement actions to try to keep up with the traffic violations and the nuisances. That was my only concern, though, going forward with it.
And keep in mind too, if we move forward with this today, we still have to have a second reading. So there's still time to come in and
Yeah.
vote on it again. If there's more information out there or something we're missing.
Yeah. You can go to Senate Bill 63, and it's all spelled out in there, that they've done that.
Is any of the
Posted
funding
on our
go towards
Facebook
that?
and that, so.
Funding, we make.
Like the registration fees that they bring in?
How are the fees split? How does that work? So you've got the registration fee. What's split between the sheriff's office and the clerk's office? How does that?
No, there's no split. They do inspections.
So the inspection side of it's there.
They
and then
retain all fees on inspections. We don't retain any inspection fee. Then we just run it through a normal process like any other vehicle. Your ad val tax, your 6% tax.
So to answer your question, being a fee pool office, yes.
Sheriff, do you feel like the inspection financials that you'll bring in will sufficiently help the?
I think it'll help. I do. Like I said, it's obviously going to require a little bit more enforcement action because there's going to be more on the roadway, which will require us to respond to more complaints than what we usually get.
Sure.
I feel like our office has done a pretty good job finally getting it somewhat under control. I know we still have issues with them being out on the roadway, but I think we've come leaps and bounds from where we were with the complaints that we were originally taking to where we're at today. So.
Well, and that's the thing too. I mean, if you look at Rush Off Road, right? Let's just talk about it because it is what it is. If you hit 4 Mile, you run into Trace. Well, Trace is a state road, and we know what happens, right? I mean, it happens anyway. But what I'm getting at is, it's not like you're traversing from there down to the gas station. You can't get there. And on the other side, you got 854, which is also a state road. Right. So we're not. I don't feel that and I've been asked this too, but this wouldn't expand the territory per se to Rush Off Road to be able to get onto county roads, because you can only access, if you have 4 Mile to Trace, and that's really all you got. And the rest, 854 is covered on the other side. So I do think you'll see an uptick, I do think you'll see an uptick in Bernal, Durbin area, the Ponderosa area, in areas like that where you got a bunch of county roads right there. So I don't know. We'll have to see. If it passes, we'll just have to see how it goes. If we need to make adjustments, we can make adjustments.
And like I said, this is nothing we created. This is your legislators did
Right.
this.
Yep.
So we're just following suit with Senate
Absolutely.
Bill 63. So, any questions, concerns, I'd probably take to the legislators. They created the bill.
Yep.
We're just adhering to it.
That's right. Well, can get a motion.
To effect this month, actually, end of the month.
June 27th. We can start registering June 27th.
And our next meeting's on June 26th. Get a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook,
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury,
Yes.
Judge Cheney.
Yes. Is that your copy?
Yes.
I will lose that. Next on the agenda is Sheriff Office Lease Agreement.
Hey, Judge,
Yes.
do you care to go back up a couple of items? We missed the Summit Ironville appointment and the Rush Off Road update.
Oh, I did miss that. Man, I skipped a bunch today. I'm sorry, guys. My bad. Thanks, Justin. Thanks, Mr. Pruitt. Appreciate it. Next on the agenda is the appointment of Ron Adams to, what is that? Summit Ironville Board of Trustees. Can I get a motion in a second?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
He is replacing a expired term. He's replacing a board member.
Get a motion in a second, or we're good?
You already did that.
No discussion. Clerk, you please call roll.
Commissioner Stapleton.
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook.
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury.
Yes.
Judge Cheney.
Yes. Next on the agenda, and my apologies, Rush Off Road AML update. I don't know how I done that. I think because I drew an arrow. I think I went from here to here.
You look like one of the Cheney playbooks that I've seen all my whole life.
That's a Rick Cheney
That's
special.
a Rick
right
Cheney
there.
special.
So guys, as we're actively moving in construction, I'm going to let Paul handle most of the update. Lindsay, but if you have any questions for me concerning the AML funding itself or the process, I'd be glad to answer this for you.
Paul Hamburg, E.L. Robinson Engineering. This is Lindsey Pemberton. He is your resident project representative, 30-plus years. He was the supervisor of all of Lawrence County, Ohio with ODOT. So Lindsey knows how to build a road.
Right.
But they've been working since, March, Lindsey, out there?
March 17th, I think it was.
You have two contracts. One contract, Boca Enterprises from Johnson County, about $1.1 million to get the water and the sewer lines into the RV park. And then you have the other contract, Ferguson Excavating, also from Johnson County, $1.8 million for about 1 mile of road widening. And we're talking about Herb Ross Road from Big Run, South Big Run, up to the top of the hill, about 1 mile of road widening, and it's to bring the road up to county standards, full paving, striping, and so forth. And like I said, they've been working out there now. This is the third month. The road contractor, you've seen pictures. They've made good progress. They got an early start. We've had some rain, but we've had good weather also. The water line and the sewer line contractor, they have ordered their pipe and their materials. They haven't come in yet, so they have not started. But we don't really want them to start because we want the roadway going up the hill. We want it rough graded. We don't want two contractors in the way of each other. So once the road is graded going up Herb Ross Road, then the water line contractor will come back and put the water line in. So, but everything's going well. Like I said, we've had to finagle. We've found it borrow. We've had a narrow window on our right of way, but we found suitable borrow materials. So you're getting a road built out there to county road standards, and it's everything's going good so far. But
Looks like it.
be glad to entertain any. We've had one pay estimate, I think, haven't we, Eric? One pay draw from the contractor.
Yes, so that pay draw went up to AML for their approval. I believe it was the beginning of last week. So that will come back to Melissa. When we get that, we'll just issue checks. Those checks, copies of those checks will come to me. We'll make sure the county gets reimbursed, and you will be out $0.
Awesome.
So we got our first pay estimate. Everything's going well. Lindsay's out there every day. I'd be glad to answer any questions. You know, obviously, most people, you all know, we're building they're getting water and sewer and a road in. The RV park is what's getting moved. It's getting out of the way of where it is now, which has had, due to the narrowness of 4 Mile, so it's moving the RV park is what, $4 million AML grant. That's, I mean, that was when you first took office as
In
judge.
2000
What, 6 years?
2019 is when we were awarded that, the very end of 19, I believe, or early 20. So yeah, it's been a long time.
Abandoned mine land grant, so, but, everything's going good. We, glad to answer any questions, otherwise, that's an update.
All right. Well, I appreciate you very much. It looks great. Pictures
Yeah, me
look
too.
fantastic.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to see this project through.
Yep.
Anything you all need from us, let us know. We really appreciate it.
District Chairman?
That's mine. It's mine.
Okay. So have you heard any complaints? Have you had any issues?
I have not.
I haven't either.
No issues. If there's no issues on the county's concern of the project, if you get those, please let me know, and we'll try to address those as quickly as we can. So, I've been on site about 3 times, everything's looked good to me. We're not getting a lot of tracking of dirt onto the roadways, we're not getting any broken pavement at the edge from equipment, so.
I think the only things we've ever had is just from the rush part anyway, and nobody really knows how that's going to affect rush and if it's going to change the entrance or what's going to really happen. There's a lot of unknowns about that right now, and that's the biggest question I get, and I answer it to the best of my ability, but
I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure either. My job is to pay for them to build a road, water lines, and sewer
Exactly.
lines.
Right.
And,
That's what we're gonna do.
and that's what I'm saying, because I really don't know
Rush-off
either.
road is not incumbent on me or.
Exactly.
No,
Or
that's
else.
all
And that's what I'm
private.
saying. I just don't know how that's going to work, but
We would anticipate.
we'll see.
When sewer line, force main gets started going down Ellington Run, it's on the county right of way. You'll probably get some calls on that. The contractor's required to put temporary gravel in and keep the ditches clean. Probably get some calls, but one thing I might add, the sewer line that's being put in is large enough, even though it's a force main. The people at some point down the road, if they want sewer for there's 23 homes up Ellington Run. If they would ever want sewer there, at some point, that would kind of lay the groundwork for the main line. It's not to be enforced on them, but at some point down the road, that would kind of set that up for having them have sewer service someday, if they would ever want it. I know, Judge, you mentioned that 2 years ago to give them an alternative for later on, So that's what this does. This it's an upsized line that would allow the residents, if they ever did decide, and again, that's totally their choice. We all know that.
Right. No, we're really excited for this project, and y'all doing a great job, and we appreciate it very much. Truly do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right, I think I'm all caught up now. Next on the agenda is Sheriff's Office Lease Agreement. This is the office that we have out on Route 60. This lease agreement is total amount of $4,250. That's a year. That's $354 a month lease payment for that building. Get a motion and a second to
So
approve
moved.
this.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, yep. Absolutely.
I just want to thank the court for your all's continued support. That satellite office has been amazing. I mean, I think the deputies love it. The community loves it. It's centrally located. It's cut our time response in half. So I want to thank each of you all for continuing to support us on that satellite office. It's come in real handy.
Absolutely.
It's got the toxilizer 8,000.
It's true. It does.
That's my favorite thing.
Really, this lease amount is pretty incredible too when you really look at it.
Yeah.
For that building and what we have there, and we really appreciate that from ERCS who owns the building. So be leasing it from them. So we have a motion, we have a second, we had discussion. Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton?
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook?
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury?
Yes.
Judge Cheney?
Yes. Next on the agenda, we'll move to transparency. We have a community development update from Ms. Casey.
Good morning. So we just have some summer events to talk about today. This Friday is Touch a Truck, so that will be at the Boyd Convention Arts Center. We start at 10. From 10 to 11, we're doing sensory friendly, so low lights and sounds, and then at 11, we let all the vehicles turn on their lights and their horns and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be from 11 to 1. Huge thank you to all of our sponsors that sponsor these events because it takes a village. So huge thank you to them for making everything possible. But we're going to have free Kona ice. We're going to have hot dogs this year. That's something new. We're also going to have Peanut the Clown. So we'll have balloon animals and face painting by Faith will be there. And then we'll have crafts as well. And then in a few weeks, so 2 weeks from this Friday, is the longest day of play. We host that with Boyd County Schools Family Resource and Youth Service Centers. And that will be at the old football field back behind the preschool in what is currently Cannonsburg. We're going to have a foam party. That's always the big hit. Water inflatables, so water slides, and we have some smaller ones this year for the littler kids as well. Free Kona Ice at that. We're going to have games. We're giving away some bicycles this year. We're going to watch Moana 2 at 9 p.m., and we're having popcorn and candy during that. So come hang out all evening with us. That will be lots of fun. And then I'll also have snow cones and sun catchers. We are hosting that on Friday, July 18th this year, and we are going back to the park. Last year we kind of changed it up, but we're going to go back to the park this year. That'll be at Shelter 5 from 11 to 1. It's kind of more low-key. We paint sun catchers and we eat Kona Ice, so it's a lot of fun as well, and thank you again to our sponsors for that. So we always can use some extra volunteers to help serve hot dogs and watch the inflatables and keep everybody corralled in. So if anybody wants to pitch in, we always appreciate that. And I think that's all that I have. So we will hopefully see everybody Friday.
How many hot dogs did you cook last year?
About 800 last year.
We had how many people? We had over 900 people last year, the longest day play. Yeah. I mean, it's a great thing. It's a blast. It really is a good time. So you're doing a fantastic job.
It's my favorite thing, long stay play, so try to be there because it's so much fun.
It's a good time. It is fun. All right, thank you very much. Next, we'll move to community comment. On up.
Paul Reynolds. I was here the last meeting about homes for disabled veterans, and I know we'd originally talked about the old Ashland Vocational School lots, and but I don't know if that's changed or had any ideas on it, but I've also looked at other properties as well. And then as far as my being a construction manager, that's donated. So if it takes a year, then that's on me.
Right.
So now, if I was the construction manager, I wouldn't be it as a contractor. There'd be a conflict of interest. So I have also been in business since 1981, and an electrical contractor as well. So, and a bunch of other degrees. And if the county had any other properties other than the vocational school area, then that's something maybe we could get to Hal Rogers or Adam Rice. So I know I looked at one property. It's 28 acres. Which would be about 52 houses. So, but that would be something that I'd have to go through the VA for approval. So, and there would be a profit with them for the development of probably $300,000. So, but if you've got any idea of any properties that you could look at, I can look at and maybe put something together to submit in.
We have a list of county properties. I'll go down, I'll pull that this week, and I'll see what other properties we have available.
I just want to make sure it's, as far as overseeing that a construction manager is donated.
Yeah,
so.
And I think we could work something, I think we could figure something out, but I think the ACTC property, we don't, we just got it under our control. I don't know really what we're looking at there as of yet. So, let me pull the county list of properties that we have. We have properties. We actually have way too many properties we need to get rid of. But let me pull that list and see where we're at.
If we can get a plot of it, then I can look at it and see just something rough to put together.
I'll pull that list this week.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Yep. Community comment? Anybody else? I was planning for like 2 hours, so that's pretty good. Okay, new business. Commissioners, y'all have anything? No? Nobody wants to talk today? Randy? Randy, you talk a lot. What you got? Anything?
Me?
Yeah. All right, nothing in new business. Next meeting will be June 26th. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Pretty sure everybody's in favor. Thank you all very much.